Whenever a business wants to grow, one of the first things you hear is, we need more customers. But what if you don't? And what if you already have enough people finding your business? And the real problem is what happens after they find you. You see, more traffic does not fix a broken system. You could have launched a website, have a perfect funnel, whether it's coming from Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook ads. They get to your website, they click around, and they leave. What happened? You're like, what happened? And then you go, well, maybe I need more traffic. So let's just add more dollars to ad spend. And then the same thing happens. So imagine you have a bucket filled with water. So you obviously know where I'm going. There's a hole in the bucket, and most businesses respond by turning the faucet up. Add more ad spend, more posts, more content. Let's do more live streams, more. Oh my goodness. But the water keeps disappearing, and you as a business owner, you're at times working in the business, and you don't have time to stop and look at what's happening. At some point, increasing the amount of water isn't the smartest solution. You have to find the hole in the bucket. So let's go through a simple funnel. If you don't know what a funnel is, let's just see if I can work that out for you right now. So someone finds your business. It could be through Google, it could be a referral, it could be through your Instagram posts, and then they visit your website or your store. They ask a question, considers purchasing, does this fit me, or does this help solve my problem? And then they go, you know what, it does solve my problem. They buy, they receive the product or service, and then decides whether to return. But sometimes once they've received the product and or service, you don't get that return. Okay, we're going to go into that a bit later. But every stage, people can disappear. So again, someone could discover your business, visit the website, and then leave. They could either discover your business, visit the website, ask a question, look at the shop, or consider purchasing, and then leave. Or they could get through after buying, they receive the product, and like I said, leave and never return. So there's different reasons, and obviously you as a business owner, you're already aware of it. It could be the business has plenty of awareness, but it has a confusing website. And I know this is a case with a lot of small business owners, even though now we have AI, we have all these easy ways to set up a website. That still can happen. Here's another one. And I think a lot of skills tradesmen that could be in this category. Plenty of inquiries, but slow follow-up. And that could actually kill a lot of your sales and your businesses. Sometimes when people inquire about your business, they're looking for a solution now. It's a very warm lead. And if you can't reach them, they're going to look for someone else, or something happens in the process and they decide to change their mind. It happens a lot. You either have plenty of first-time customers, but they've had a poor experience with your business. And sometimes this is hard to detect because your customers leave without giving feedback, right? So they leave you in the red zone, or they ghost you. Or you have the opposite. Plenty of happy customers, but no system of bringing them back. And you got to think about your company, even though it's a small business or medium-sized business. Who knows, I could be speaking to a huge business. Retention is key. Think about it. Huge businesses like Virgin Mobile, Bell Canada, AT&T, they spend a lot of money in promotions, marketing to get the customer, to acquire the customer. The cost to acquire a customer is a lot more than to retain it, to retain a customer. So let's say with all those ads and everything, and you do everything to acquire a customer, maybe per lead, that customer is maybe, I don't know, $50 or $100. I'm just throwing out numbers. But let's say now that same customer is one of your clients, and then they come across or they have an issue with the service and they decide that they're going to leave. But what you do, you intervene, you listen to what the customer, your client is saying, find a solution, and then on top of that, you give them a discount, or if they're on a subscription with a lot of phone companies, what they do is they give them a discount on their current monthly subscription. So they're rewarded for staying with your company. This happens all the time because these huge corporations understand the cost to acquire a customer or a client is a lot more than to retain it. And then when you retain a customer, every month you're not starting at zero. You're starting at $5,000, $10,000, or even for a small business, it could be $500 because you know that they are a part of your monthly revenue as long as they stay a customer. Here's another example. Let's say a local gym. A local gym says they need more members. All local gyms need more members. But let's say 100 people join every month and 70 leave within 3 months. So does that gym have an acquisition problem or does it have a retention problem? And if they spend more money bringing in another 100 people without fixing why people leave, they just simply made a bigger leap. And the same thing will happen. And this can apply to restaurants, agencies, like I said before, subscription businesses, online stores, events, service businesses, communities, all types of businesses. So before you say we need more customers, and I know sometimes this is difficult to do because you are a business owner, you're juggling many hats, you have to ask yourself the question, how many people are already finding us? How many inquire? How many actually buy? How many buy again? And how many disappear? And where does the biggest drop happen? So basically, that's actually a funnel that I just went through. And that drop is often more important than the number of people entering at the top of your funnel. So your existing customers are an asset. Acquisition tends to get all the attention because it's new customers, it feels like growth, they get the new packages and all that stuff. But the existing customers already know who you are. They've made a decision and they already trust you. Trust is very hard to acquire, and that creates opportunities for repeat businesses, renewals, upsells, referrals, membership. Let me give you an example. So Virgin Mobile, when they first came to Canada, they were the new guy on the block dealing with huge businesses like Bell, Rogers, TELUS. And what I've noticed with them, they made sure they doubled down on client or customer retention. Reason being is they're dealing with 3 huge monopoly or conglomerates within Canada. So the budget to outmarket, outpromote Bell, Rogers, TELUS may not have been an option or an efficient option. What I've seen they've done over the years is amazing customer service. Customer retention is very strong with them. customer memberships. They have like a certain club where you get special offers. And the longer you stay with them, you you get a the longer you stay with them, you get a lot of VIP pricing compared to Rogers and Bell and all that stuff. And Rogers, Bell, and Telus, it turns into a Ferris wheel or a revolving door, because when Bell has a promotion, everybody leaves Rogers for Bell. And then when Rogers has a promotion, everybody leaves Bell, because they kind of do the same way how they treat customers, I would say. I've experienced these companies. But what I've noticed with Virgin Mobile, their customer service is so on point. I think they won a couple of awards for a while, that they're also saving money because they're getting repeat purchases, they're doing upsells, they're getting referrals from that same one customer they acquired years ago. So they're still extracting value. Where the other guys, they're just spending money, so much money on promotions, and then everybody switches. Anyways, I'm babbling a bit too much, but basically, retention is king. And again, the argument isn't businesses don't need new customers. Of course they do. The argument is don't automatically assume acquisition is the constraint. If the rest of the system works, adding more customers can accelerate growth. But if the system is broken, and adding more customers can just accelerate the problem. But we also have to look at growth from a different perspective. Growth isn't always about adding more. Sometimes it's about finding where value is really being lost, right? Before launching another campaign, spending more on advertising or chasing another audience, look at what's already happening inside the business. Because sometimes the question isn't, how do we get more customers? It's, why aren't we getting more value from the customers we already have? So before you turn up the faucet, check the bucket. So if you're building a business, community, or organization and you've hit a bottleneck, there is a link below where you can tell me what you're working on. I may explore some of these challenges in future videos. Peace.